Welcome back to Cottage Designs by Erin, where we are doing yet another floss tube. I am in the living room of my new house, and I've lived here approximately 2 months. And so I thought I'd just show you my Christmas decorations and let you see a few of my cross stitch projects that I have on hand. I'm going to change the camera to facing out now. Okay, so this is my living room. And I have my little fireplace going today because it is below freezing outside. Here's my pretty pink Christmas tree. Excuse the cords hanging down on my TV. Here's one of my cross-stitch items that I have up. It says Merry Christmas. And then if we go over in this corner, above my fireplace, I made that little mini quilt. But I also have these needlework designs that won first place at county fairs, and one is a sampler and the other one is hardanger that I made for my mother. So I'm going to shut the camera off and go back to the sewing room and start our video. So we're back in my sewing room now, and I'm going to show you what I have been working on. I decided to finish this little snowman right where he's at. I'm going to put him in a little metal frame, smaller than this one, a little round circular frame, and finish him out for my daughter's tree. He is a Blackbird design Frosty's Night Out. And I purchased this pattern off of eBay. She currently has the Twin Peak Primitive Snowman on her Christmas tree that I made her, and it just looks darling. She tends to like more primitive, rustic, farm theme trees for and ornaments for her Christmas tree, where I tend to like Victorian pink ornaments. So we're definitely not on the same page. Okay, I have been working diligently on this sampler. And when I say diligently, I'm talking 3-4 hours at a time. I worked 2 hours on it last night and 3 or 4 hours on it Friday. So this is what it's looking like so far. It is on 28 count linen, and I am just thrilled that so far everything is lining up the way it is supposed to. This pattern is from the 70s, and it was a kit. But I am sad to say that I already ran out of the light pink floss, but it's a DMC color, so I had more on hand. The pattern is by the Sewing Bird, and this is from 1977. So I was 7 years old when this kit came out, and it's just as beautiful today as it was when it was released. And so I'm very happy with that. It's my goal to finish that as soon as possible. I try to work on a little bit every day. And it's funny how once you get in the groove, it can go quickly. Once your brain starts saying 3 over 1 up, 3 over 1 up, you know, it's like having a little sergeant in your brain telling you what to do. So I am, that will be my first big finish of 2026. I do have my 2026 Book of Days calendar, and I purchased this off of Etsy. It did take a long time to get here, many weeks. I don't know why it took so long, but it did. And I have not put any stickers or plans in here yet because I tend to play it by ear. As a matter of fact, I write down what I did after I did it instead of planning in advance typically. Okay, so here I have my spring basket. And after Christmas, you're one of two people. You're either working on snowmen or Valentine's Day or spring. So, well, I said one of three people. You fall in one of those three categories. I tend to start working on spring right away after Christmas. And the reason I do that is so that I have finished projects to put out on display in my home. And I did that last year. It worked out really well, and my house was looking super cute. So in my spring basket, these are things I've purchased at various times. They were not all purchased recently. And I'm really cutting back on what I buy because of my house payment. So the first thing we have here is Little House Needleworks. My Needles Work, it's called. And this is a little rustic for me, but I love it because it's got pink and burgundy in it and green. And that's kind of what I've got going in my living room, as you saw. And she's a little kit. She came with the Belsois threads, but she did not come with the linen. You have to use your own linen. But these are beautiful. Maybe they're not Belsois. These are Classic Colorworks. Never mind. I thought most of their kits come with Belsois thread. But anyway, these are Classic Colorworks, and they're just gorgeous. Look at these beautiful colors. Pink and brown and deep gray, and just gorgeous. So I might make her at some point when the vibe hits. Last spring, I got on Primrose Cottage, and I bought this little cute little watering can. It'd make a nice little a little tuck pillow, you know, to put in a dough bowl or something. I love those. So Primrose Cottage for that one. This is a kit that was already gathered up, kitted up on eBay, and it's called Farmhouse by Blackbird Designs. I love that. The colors are so soothing. You know what I like? I like their designs because they're so romantic looking, and they're just so soothing and feminine. They're just gorgeous. So here's the linen and the floss for it. And looks like something I would enjoy making. I don't know about all the windows on that house. That looks like a major undertaking. But the rest of it looks like fun. Okay. And of course, you know, I'm going to be on the lookout for pink, because pink, my favorite color used to be red, and now I switched over to pink, although I do still like red. And I bought this at 123 Stitch. And this is my first ever Fox and Rabbit design. And it is Audie's Pink House. One of the things I'm super excited about in my new home is I have a lot of wall space that I did not have at the other house, because the other house was very small. And it's all been freshly painted. It's a beautiful deep beige color. And so I'm excited about getting some framed pieces up. So it suggested the linen did not come with this. It is suggested that you stitch it on 36 count Desert by Fox and Rabbit. But it did come with the floss. And then I'll use my own linen. My sweet spot is 28 count. I really like 28, but I'm sure I will advance to something else. Okay, this is at the top of my list to do. But my biggest problem is I can't decide if I want to do it in the lavender as shown, which would match my bedroom, or if I want to do it in pinks. And they do have a Valentine Day Quaker out. And this came from Primrose Cottage last year. Okay, another project that I have worked on. Got everything inside this little. I try to keep everything protected from water, because around here you just never know if something's going to be spilled or whatever. This is Spring by Lavender and Lace. Or wait, is it Marabella? Let me look. Celtic Spring by Marilyn Levitt Emblem. And it looks like this. This is a big long haul project. But the colors are so magnificent that I couldn't resist. This is stitched on willow green casual linen, which is in the kit. And let me show you what I have done. My bedroom has been purple for probably 20 years, a lavender, and I find it to be very, very soothing. And so I just continue to stay with that. Even though I moved and I had a chance to branch out and do a different color, I didn't. Oh, shoot. Let me see here. Where did you go? Okay, so all I have done are started the little borders. So that's really not enough to really get an idea on. But the colors are just absolutely magnificent. This might be a summer project. Look at all this floss. Is that not heavenly? So I've got it in the works. I've always wanted to try to do one of these ladies in the big dresses, but I could not afford these when they were popular. When, you know, back in the 90s, I did not have the money to buy them. And so now that I do, I thought, well, I'll try one and see if I can commit to that. Okay, next I have Jane Greenoff's 4-season band. And I'm a little disappointed in this because when I bought it on eBay, it looked like it was going to have a lot of pink. But to me, this reads more orange than pink. It does have specialty stitches. It is involved. I like the challenge of it, I should say. Okay, next I have, this is from 123 Stitch. They don't have dates on this thing, on these order packet or the packing slips. This will be started shortly here. Projections of Love. And it is all Valentine's Day projects. Isn't that just glorious? And I just bought on there last week. They have a design called Pink Pears. And it sold out once, and I just bought it. The pink linen has sold out for it. So I'm going to use some pink linen that I have on hand. But aren't this just cute as can be? And so this is by Twin Peak Primitives. And it suggested that you stitch it on 32 count linen. And it all uses the same red. So here is the 32 count linen and the red. And the DMC is 816, looks like. Yes, 816. Isn't that glorious? So just play well together. So, all of that, the linen and the thread and the pattern was $38, to give you an idea. Also last year, I bought the embroideress stocking pattern. I still have not started it, mainly because of the move. Oh, that move, I'm telling you, threw me off. I had no idea I was going to move to this house. It was 2 doors down. It came up for sale, and I jumped on it. And then everything was just total chaos for a while. But here is the embroideress, and this came off of 123 Stitch. And, of course, the big, huge stocking that everyone's making with the swans, that is also on there. And I like her rustic look, and I like the colors, and I just think it's beautiful. Definitely a long haul project. And then, you know, sometimes you get some little freebie. This is a little freebie pattern that says, "Let your heart shine." I don't know who sent that to me, but I do appreciate it. Plum Street, I suppose there may be 100 different ways of being in love. I love anything Jane Austen. My degree is in English. I'm a former English teacher, and I've always loved Jane Austen. Mojo Stitches. That's glorious. I tend to like patterns that are either traditional or have a Victorian aesthetic to them. This is in the wrong bag. That goes to the summer bag. Blackbird Designs, County of Blank is my home. And I like the spring aspect of that. And this is interesting because it's stitched on two different types of linen, and then you sew them together. Flowering crown. That would be a quick one to do. It's by Just Nan, and it came with the pattern only. You have to add your own floss and linen. Jesus Loves Me, This I Know. I love that because it reminds me of our little country church that we go to. Okay, I bought this last spring and never got to it, but I do have knobs on my beautiful little grandma hutches in this house, and so I think I would like to stitch this little heart and hang it up. Isn't that darling? I tell you, there's nothing like coming home to a house that is decorated, or I should say a home that is decorated with things you made yourself. Whether it's your curtains, your pillows, your pictures, or any little trinkety things that you might have made. It just makes it so beautiful. When we do what we can, God will do what we cannot. I firmly believe that. And this is a little kit. It comes with a piece of linen by Lizzie and Kate. We've got a little Easter egg card here by Calico Confectionery. It says, I don't know where that came from. Oh, I like this little spring design. Spring Spot Sampler. It's a little tiny. Isn't that darling? Of course, I love those colors, and so that's probably why I picked that up. This I have been saying that I'm going to make this for 30 years, and it hasn't happened yet. This is Just Nan, and this is from, probably doesn't have the copyright date on it. Let me see. Oh, yes, it does. 1996. Holy Toledo Batman. Look how little it is, and I still haven't made it. I need to do that, because I've always admired that design. I've had it for years. Okay, this is not necessarily spring, but it's the Stitcher. When I was young and in my prime, here you may see how I spent my time. And that is totally me. I started really sewing and devoting time to stitching when I was in my 20s, and I have never stopped. And I'm so thankful for it. Strawberry House by Little House Needleworks. Super cute. I like strawberry themed designs. I think they're happy. Okay, and then this magazine, the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher. This is a spring issue. You can buy back issues on their website, or you can go onto eBay and buy the secondary market. These are wonderful, wonderful magazines. And I hold them in such high regard. I put them all back in the little plastic sleeves so that nothing happens to the patterns, because they are phenomenal. Okay, this I was going to make for my daughter. And this is Bluebird Sampler, and it's just a little pillow. Another little kit from eBay. Here's some cute little Stitcher's dough bow fillers, and this is by Brenda Gervais. I've got some things that don't belong in here. This one came in a box lot. I did not buy it, and it's Catherine Jessie White, 1891. And it's just spring colors. I just think that's very beautiful. Clara Hansen cross stitch pattern. Again, came in a box lot on eBay. Renaissance Angel, and it has beading. Again, that would go in my bedroom because it's purple. A coworker, we have this little deal at work called, we're not doing it this year, but in years past, we've had a little program called Morale Pal, and names are drawn out of a hat, and you get someone's name, they get your name, and you don't know until the end of the year who had who, and you buy them little gifts, and you anonymously get them to them. And so I received this darling little pouch. It says, When life gives you scraps, make quilts. And I just think that's so precious. You can use it for whatever you want. Came from Hobby Lobby, but I appreciate that gift. Thank you, Tracy. This doesn't belong in here. Some of my things got mixed up in the move and got moved to different baskets. Here's another issue of Primitive Stitcher magazine. I don't know why that's not in the plastic. Okay, and then I purchased this off of eBay, and I am not only confused, but disappointed. This pattern is by Kung Fu Stitcher. Yes, I know. I've never heard of it either. And I love, love, love the design. That is so me, and I love everything about it. The back is the pattern is in color. Now, here's what's weird. It came with a piece of fabric with the design imprinted on it. You are supposed to stitch on that fabric. Here it is. You're supposed to stitch on it, and then you're supposed to dissolve the fabric in water. What could possibly go wrong? I mean, all of your dye could run, anything could happen. I am not about to do that. So I decided to just stitch it the old-fashioned way on linen, or not linen, but Aida cloth. And I was just going to town on it, happy as a little lark. And then I started noticing there's things wrong with it. Like, she had no hand at the end of one arm, but had a hand at the end of the other arm. Weird, weird stuff. And so I've been trying to fix it up as I go along. Some of my patterns are off on here. I like what I have finished so far, but I'm going to have to do some more work on that. I do love the colors and the overall idea. It's just not working out according to plan. So everything's now falling over in my basket, so I guess it's a good time for me to get off of here. I hope you enjoyed my Flosstube. Please come back. Hopefully next month maybe I'll even have my sampler framed, who knows. And I hope you have a warm, comfortable, blessed day. And thank you for watching, and please subscribe if you haven't. I could really use the help. Thank you, bye.